When you have these systems, when you have corporations, when you have an economic elite, there's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, right? You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
You can get market power, you can break rules, you can do all sorts of things. You can abuse labor laws,
Yep.
You can pay people less than what they're worth,
Yep.
But you can't earn that, right?
That's
And
right.
so if you're making minimum wage at a Walmart and you're making $7 an hour, and with these gas prices, it takes you $7 to get to work.
That's right.
And so as a result, we've kind of internalized this moralized system, right? The people at the top are smarter, better, more sophisticated, and therefore the people at the bottom are uneducated, lazy, etc. You need somebody under you because you feel like you are kind of good.
This clip illustrates well why I call today's Democrats communists. A communist government would have its subjects believe that we're all the same, basically, so no one should be rich. I mean, if they are, it's at the expense of the poor workers. A-Hole C is stoking the fires of class warfare because only an all-powerful government, of which she is a member, can save the exploited working class from the capitalist pigs occupying the top tier of society. She baselessly asserts that one cannot earn $1 billion without explaining why that is, or for that matter, how much a person could earn. She knows this rhetoric will land with much of her intended audience because she's appealing to the actual desires of most human beings. Unfortunately, that desire isn't the desire to be free. It's a desire to be taken care of. The desire to be free has to be learned and cultivated. It's not natural for most people. A-Hole C is likely too stupid to understand that, but her handlers understand it, and that's all that matters. She just has to say the thing for an audience who will hear her and the vacuous, obsequious stooge agreeing with her every word while doing her impression of a drinking bird toy. It's a seductive argument these two idiots are making, to be sure. I mean, rather than telling people things like, you get out of life what you put into it, which implies correctly that a lifetime of hard work and sacrifice will be necessary for anyone who wants to earn a good life. Instead, the message is, you have nothing because you're being screwed by the rich. But don't worry, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. A-Hole C implies, as all communists do, that a minimum wage earner at Walmart should earn what the CEO earns. So the 17-year-old working his first job, collecting shopping carts while spending half of his shift in the bathroom consuming porn on his cell phone is worth roughly the same as the person who has to run every aspect of a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
That doesn't make sense.
Of course it doesn't. If A-Hole C knows so much about how the economy works, perhaps she should explain why businesses and wealthy residents are fleeing the state she represents in droves.
I am told this is a garbage disposal.
She's a legislator, yet she knows nothing about how the world works. But what's most troubling is the fact that through voluntary overexposure, she has made her staggering ignorance known to the world, with reminders of her alarming inadequacies appearing almost daily.
The people who are breaking the law are the people who are not abiding by it.
And yet every other year, she gets reelected. Vote blue no matter who, right?
What is the justification for this war?
Well, I think you got it right. I mean, it's a shifting explanation. I also heard yesterday about the imminent threat, but it was sometime in the future that the imminent threat would exist because of their ballistic missile capability. Hey, they don't seem to know what they're doing or why they did this. I think this is a perfect example of what happens when you have a leader of a country who doesn't take input, doesn't take advice, puts a lot of yes people around him, and makes these, decisions without the right input and without the right data. I think this is not going well for them. And what that means is it's not going well for our country, and it's not going to go well for service members. Yeah, they don't have a plan. I don't think there was a strategic goal here. They're flailing around. So no goal, no timeline. What that leads to is just more U.S. service members in a really, really challenging spot. I think one thing that I don't think has been really mentioned here is how this president considers and his regard for U.S. service members. I mean, over the last 10 years, he said a lot of things that makes me believe that he doesn't have the kind of respect that typical presidents have of members of the military and the challenges that they face. How does this help Americans afford their health care, which, by the way, this president put a big dent in, right? Really cut if you're somebody on Medicaid or getting your health care from the Affordable Care Act exchange. He wanted to give a big tax cut to billionaires.
So because all news is now really just propaganda, we have the odious Mark Kelly telling us that President Trump had no plan with regard to the Iranian campaign, which, of course, is nonsense.
He's a liar.
Still, it's amazing to hear someone in our own government root against America like this. Kelly roots for the terrorists. It's also amazing to think that this interview is over 2 months old. The campaign had just begun, and yet we'd already accomplished most of what we set out to do. But according to Kelly, Iran was winning. It's also pretty rich to see Kelly feign concern over President Trump's level of respect for our troops, while Kelly himself was part of a group of legislators who made a video to demoralize our own troops by essentially trying to get them to consider consulting with an attorney before following orders from their superiors during wartime. Kelly's supposedly a hero because he served in the Navy and was an astronaut. Well, that's great, but it doesn't give him license to root for America's enemies now. As far as I'm concerned, he's just a Democrat stooge at this point. That's why he squeezed in the asinine and utterly insincere question, how does this war help Americans afford health care? It doesn't, you dope. Neither did the bombing of Hiroshima. Kelly is okay with Iran having a nuclear weapon and a vast arsenal of conventional ballistic missiles capable of wiping out half of Europe. He's okay with that. If what I just said isn't true, he wouldn't be saying the things that he's saying. In many ways, Arizona is still like the Wild West, yet somehow the politicians they sent to Washington are all like this guy, which means they'd fit right in as a politician in New York or California. Wake up, Arizona. Please wake up. I think the heat may be getting to you.
You can't earn $1 billion. You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
Bruh.